Alrighty, welcome everybody to this week's KubeVirt community meeting. It is the 4th of December, 2024, our final run into the end of the year. Hopefully everyone can hear me and see my screen. Please let me know if you can't. I should open up chat. I'm just going to paste our meeting agenda into chat. There you are. If you could please add your name to the attendees list at the top of the page. Well, of today's agenda. Please bear with me. I'm severely underslept today, so my brain is a bit boop. Do we have anyone here today who is new or maybe has attended this meeting before but hasn't necessarily taken the time to introduce yourself, and you would like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I can go. So, yeah, this is Shomadip. Am I audible?
Yes. Welcome.
Yeah, so I have attended a couple of meetings, but like I haven't introduced myself, or I would say I didn't take the opportunity to do that. So I'm currently working at Red Hat as a senior software engineer for the last 3.5 years, and I'm just attending this meeting, and I'm trying to know that what is KubeVirt more, and like eventually I would like to contribute. So yeah.
Awesome. Welcome to, well, I guess welcome again to our community meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there anyone else here that would like to introduce themselves? I don't think I've ever introduced myself. Hello, my name is Andrew Burden, and yeah, I work with the KubeVirt community. Let's get on with this meeting. So we've got our scheduled check-in 1.5. I still haven't updated this link, so we're going to have to do this. Bum, 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 bum. The 12th of February is our feature freeze, with GA of the 5th of March. Last week we had someone come and ask about the CDI release. Now the CDI release has gone out, which we'll cover in just a second. So I think the general rule of thumb, and I believe we're going to add a note to this release schedule, is that the CDI release will follow the KubeVirt release by approximately 2 weeks.
Yep. It's on my list to add that note in there.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. And yeah, thank you for your discussion on Monday. Our upcoming CFPs, we've got none, I think. We have some project benefits to apply for KubeCon. Here's something I need to update. FOSDEM, I believe, they're closed just, on the weekend. And KubeCon is also closed. Sad. If anyone knows of any other events that might be interesting for KubeVirt to attend, please let me know so I can let everyone else know. And if you do have any submissions, obviously feel welcome to reach out and ask for my help putting together a proposal. Yeah. So we have an agendaless meeting. So if no one has anything to add at the very last second. Okay, so a couple of design proposals. This one might look familiar. This is the latest iteration for updating our design process. This is an internally meta thing. Vladik is here. Vladik, would you like to take the opportunity for me to put you on the spot and talk about this for however long you'd like?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, in general, it's all in there. I mean, the purpose of this is effectively create a way for us to generate a roadmap and also to manage these proposals differently. the main idea here is that we'll take all of these proposals and review them before the development cycle. And then during the development cycle, contributors and reviewers will basically be able to focus their attention on PRs that are associated with proposals that has been accepted, as these will become the main priority of the project for the next release. That's on one hand. On the other hand, this will also establish a process where we will effectively push the responsibility for reviewing and taking care of these proposals to individual SIGs. And hopefully this will encourage collaboration between the SIGs in a way that all the SIGs will see the benefit of the project in general and not an individual SIG. So each of the SIGs will be able to put their rejects and kind of say that this doesn't work, this specific design doesn't work for the SIG, and suggest improvements. But yeah, I mean, the main idea is that all the SIGs will adapt to a new process where they would see these individual proposals not as something that a SIG need to accomplish, but to see the benefit of the project in general. And that's all. I don't know if anyone has any questions.
We'll take that as a no. But if you do have any questions or comments, I speak too soon.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, leave them on the PR. But did you have a question or a comment for Vladik?
I did have a question. So as part of this proposal, are we going to introduce a soft kind of deadline for reviews on design documents, as in before a release cycle begins, do we expect that a set of enhancements will be accepted and only those would be worked on?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's the goal. So we will have some kind of a deadline where we will finish reviewing all the proposals, and those proposals that can go in or has been accepted even before, these will become the priority of the project for the next release. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we will be able to have this deadline before the unconference, and maybe discuss exceptions and some like iron out some issues during the unconference, and then it will set us for the next release.
Okay, awesome. So I do see migrate one or two active designs to the test process. To test this process, I can volunteer the DRA design doc if that helps. And with that regards, is there a kind of soft deadline for 1.5 that we have in our minds? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but it would be nice to know, what dates we are shooting for 1.5.
Yeah, so I mean, right now the design it's just a proposal. So hopefully this will go through and we'll be able to begin the process. But right now this is just a proposal, and I mean, people are still reflecting on it. So I don't know. I don't have any date in mind, but hopefully this will need to be done. If this will be accepted, and we'll go with that, we'll continue with this. Then I suppose somewhere before the Nexon conference.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just before you mute your line again, one question. So will, before a development cycle, we'll review and have like a short list of prioritized design proposals, but there's nothing actually restricting anyone from having a design proposal submitted. It could be reviewed really at any time, and then if they then go and develop this feature and have it during that same development cycle. Like there's nothing restricting that. It's just that it may not necessarily be prioritized. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the priority will not be there. And if the bandwidth, like if the review bandwidth is small, then there are no guarantees. But
Right.
yeah,
But it could.
yeah, sure.
Cool. Thanks, Vladek. Close all of this. There was another design proposal, which is super fresh, hot off the press. I believe it came in this morning. Javier, I think I saw you.
Yep,
Still
I'm
here.
here.
Yes. So I could talk about this very briefly.
Yep. Basically, the idea behind this design proposal is to enable some VM protection to VM objects. So the idea behind this is to avoid or to provide some kind of guarantee to VM owners that their VMs won't be accidentally deleted by any means. This comes from customer requests in downstream. So yeah, the idea is basically that how it's going to work is that we are going to have something. There are a couple of options, and the idea will be that VM owners have an annotation inside them, and if this annotation is present with a given value, which is true or true with a capital letter, the request for deleting the VM will be reacted, effectively protecting the user for getting their VMs deleted. That's basically it. Any questions?
I see Alice in chat asking why no finalizer.
I don't remember the exact reason, but there was a reason behind that. But if I remembering right, the basic idea why not be finalizer is because we want to effectively reject the request and not of deleting the VM object. Getting it will create a more direct feedback to the user when you send a delete request and the request is directly reacted, sending an error message to the prompt or to the UI or whatever the user is using for addressing the deletion option that say, hey, your operation is not allowed because VM protection is enabled for this given VM.
I think you can still do it with the finalizer. Just need to check if the finalizer is there. But yeah, we can take it to the proposal.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will still add that questions.
I will add I will include the discussion about the finalizers there.
Okay, great.
But because sorry, I don't remember the exact details, but there was a particular reason for not doing it with finalizers.
Thank you, Javier. Alrighty. Thomas David, are you here?
Oh, hey, yeah, I just joined.
Hello.
Um,
Yeah, take it away.
I think this is for the stable releases for CDI. I want to ask. Currently, on Quay there are only nightlies, and for example, KubeVirt has multi-architectural images or manifests online, and I wanted to ask how this is, if there are any plans for CDI, or are there any requirements for this before this gets implemented? Because currently for CDI, like every architecture has an own nightly build, and for the releases, they don't have any multi-arch online.
Yeah, I vaguely recall something with ARM being a pain, but that may be already old news. And if it's not there anymore, I don't see anything blocking it. It's just about adapting the release process. If you want, you can create a thread on the Kubernetes Slack, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, yeah, this sounds good. I already created an issue for this today. If on the Kubernetes Slack, would this be on the KubeVirt dev channel then?
Yes, it's fine.
All right. And this is basically it. Okay, thanks.
I have one small comment, is that we're not all the not all the E to E test pass, the unit test pass, but the E to E ones don't. And we'd like to know if we multi-arch the main manifest for CDI, if that will necessarily put it through the full battery of E to E tests, or whether we can prune that down to the ones that A, we know work, and B, that are actually supported by SV90X architecture, which the VMware APIs are not, and ImageIO are not. So we're not sure of the order of operations there, whether we should just start the PR to do that multi-arch manifesting, and then in the meantime, sort out the how the E to E tests are deployed in the CI/CD system. That seems about right, but we just want to give you a heads up that that's kind of what we're focusing on now.
Yeah, good question. I think it's could be done in parallel. I think what you're after with the end-to-end tests is a couple of labels specifically on the worm import tests. That's normally what you do when you want to filter out tests that are known to not work on a certain setup. We do this a lot in KubeVirt. In CDI, we haven't yet reached this level of complexity. So basically, all tests run on all setups, kind of.
Okay, that's why I wasn't able to find out where that was specified. But we'll figure we'll make a design proposal then, I suppose.
You don't really have to make a proposal. You could just add a label on the specific test suite that's problematic for S390. This way, you can just when you run the test, you could just add a flag and filter them out.
Okay. And there was one thing that we found in running the tests. There's ones that ought to pass, where there appears to be a misinterpretation of like one number, which would be which indicates that it's done importing. So it'll import the whole VM. And then when it gets to like 99%, it's like, oops, I have no more space. And we've detected a couple endianness issues, not that may well be in the test to compare, like how much did we import, how much space do we have to import this, and also Vamsi, I believe, has one of our other teammates has found an endianness issue in one of the Golang libraries, which I found somewhat terrifying. So yeah, we'll be having fun this Christmas. Thanks.
Yeah, heads up for those NDNS issues, and yeah, I was in that thread with him, and I expect it's possible we have the same issues in CDI in more system calls. So basically, I think the rule of thumb, if you see like Golang wrappers on system calls, then expect NDNS bugs.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you very much. We just wanted to, make a little pin in it for that.
Thank you. So we'll move on. The DRA design proposal, is this, Alay, did you put this here for attention?
Yes.
Or as a follow-on
yes.
from the Vladek proposal?
No, this is update. From our last unconference discussion, we had some updates pending. I was not able to push it due to KubeCon. But now everything is reflective of our latest discussion. So for whoever is reviewing, I would like to seek one more round of reviews on this design proposal.
Helps when I unmute. Thanks, Alay. And yes, so if we could please get some eyes onto that. Speaking of eyes onto things, Acetus, I actually don't know who that is. Are you here to talk about these pull requests?
It's a D.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, it's Orel. They told me that he will have to drop. I don't know if he's here or not. Maybe he already dropped. So he requested me to talk about these two PRs. Well, these two PRs are refactoring the unit tests of the VMware Create Admitter. They are using some function instead of in place initializing the admission review and also testing the behavior and not implementation details. They are both kind of the same, but changing different tests. They are both LGTM'd by me, and he's looking for a core approver to approve.
Alrighty. Is there anyone that I can CC to this to review this to move it forward?
Yeah, you can CC.
Thank you, Jed. Oh.
Thank you very much, Jed.
And is it more or less the same for the second one?
Yes.
Okay. Just gonna drop it on you, Jed. We have a couple of things to look over in the mailing list review. So this was at least as of a couple of hours ago, unanswered question getting an error while building. Can you all read when the font is that size, or should I be more thoroughly increasing the font text? Is everyone here that builds KubeVirt CI on a Mac? No one? But someone built it on a Mac. I thought we've talked about this before.
There are definitely people who does it, but this issue is not a new one, so I would just recommend them to search for the issue through the Slack, and they should be able to find the answer.
Okay. Cool, thank you.
Or open an issue and DOSUBot will point to the right one.
Could one of you please respond to that with words to that effect? And yeah, if you know someone that builds KubeVirt with a Mac, if you could please ping them to me on Slack in a DM. There's something I want to improve on our website documentation regarding that. What's this? Oh, yes. Is Daniel here? Oh. What have I done?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, I've managed to link to the
Just need
same
find the browser
document.
window.
You sent something. I put the wrong link in. Alrighty, here it is. The report that you sent out this morning. If you want to have a
So I think basically everything is inside the email. This is we have been looking at decreasing or increasing the overall stability of the tests, and one of the things we wanted to look at was how often the tests are failing on the periodic lanes, since like the periodic lanes should be our stable baseline. Those tests that are there coming from the main branch should fail as seldom as possible, because otherwise, yeah, you would see normally like the flakes on the main line. So what we did was we looked at all the executions of the periodic lanes for the last half year, and started to generate a couple of numbers. Initially, we started with CSV files, but this is a bit inconvenient. So we thought like we would rather want to have like a report that is HTML based and easily browsable. And this is the result. So we currently, what you see here is you see the test executions of the periodic lanes. On top, for example, there is a SIG storage lane for Kubernetes 1.31, and then the lane or the entries are the test names sorted by number of failures descending. So what you see here, for example, is like that there is like a couple of failures on the storage tests, which are not optimal, I would say. So this actually gives users more data at hand so that they can take a look at where to improve the stability of the tests. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Is that clear enough? Any questions? Okay, so one thing I forgot to say is that if you want to take a look at the full CSV data, there is like an I symbol on the right of the periodic lane name, and that is like the raw CSV file, which you can take a look at if you want. Sorry, I think I overran someone. Sorry for that.
It's all right. It was just me saying that it doesn't seem like we have any questions.
Okay.
In which case, we will move on. Thomas David, I think it was you that raised this last week. And the storage team's ears must have been burning because CDI version 1.61 was released. Hooray! And I don't think you were here earlier in the meeting, but they did discuss adding a note to our release table saying that CDI can be expected roughly 2 weeks after the KubeVirt release. So for future reference.
Very nice. Thank you.
Okay, we've got Bug Scrub. Jed, you've added this. Would you like to speak to it?
Yes. So that wasn't reported by me, but I've been talking to that person, and yeah, basically Virt Handler is using like a dozen gigabytes of memory on his cluster after an upgrade to 1.4, which looks pretty scary. So I requested some pprof data, which he provided, but I don't think the capture includes the big increase. But if someone is, I don't know, proficient with pprof debugging, maybe they can spot something I didn't. But yeah, I just wanted to raise this issue because it looks like a big one to me.
Yeah, thank you, Jed. It's not the first time that we see stuff like that. It doesn't happen often, but it's interesting to me, like to understand in which situation it does happen. So yeah, I'll take a look for sure. Thank you.
Just a heads up for folks. There is some ongoing work in 6 scale where we're trying to add metrics for the scale test on Virt Handler memory and CPU consumption. If people find a way to reproduce this, please give us a shout out on 6 scale. We would like to, see if we can incorporate any test or improve the existing test to catch such issues in CI before it hits, releases.
By the way, do we have an alert for Virt Handler's overconsumption?
In the CI tests, Lady?
No, just in general in KubeVirt alerts.
I think we don't have.
And we don't set a specific CPU and memory request, right?
Request, I think there might some be, but we definitely don't limit it.
I mean, maybe the first step we need is to add an alert. I mean, I wonder how many people are actually aware of Virt Handler over consuming.
I thought we did have some kind of an alert. Maybe it was for Virt Launcher, and
yeah, for Virt Launcher for sure.
Gotcha.
But even for the alert to exist, we would need to know how the consumption scales in certain scenarios, like with increasing number of VMs in the cluster and others. So I think we never invested enough time to understand this.
Yeah, but I mean, would you expect it to go to such numbers?
7 gigabytes? No, that sounds.
I mean, our maximum number of VMs is 110, right? Per node.
Well, you can adjust it. So possibly you could go as far as 200, 250 probably.
Okay, so we could take the maximum case and then. All right. Yeah, let's take it offline. Thanks, Jed, for looking into this.
Yep.
And we've got some flaky test fixes to have a quick run through. I don't think Barack is here, is he? But Federico is here. Federico, did you want to quickly give a quick what's going on here?
Oh, I need to remember. Actually.
It looks like this.
Yeah. Oh.
I'll let you we'll move on, and if you manage to fix your settings, we can come back. Alex, are you still here?
Hey, I am.
Did you want to give us a quick what was wrong and how it was fixed for this?
Right. So there's this test that depends on a certain binary being available in the VM image, and it was simply not there. So the whole thing wasn't achieving what it was supposed to achieve. So you had a lot of contention since you weren't really waiting for netcat to exit. You're just that while loop is just a no op basically. I know Felix found another issue with this test, so expect a follow-up soon. But as for this issue, yeah, it was super simple. Just that binary LSOF was missing. Had to use something else.
Right on, thank you. Is this this
Yeah,
might be the
that's it.
Felix follow-up. Nice one. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Did Federico manage to get his headphones fixed? I'll take that as a no. That brings us to the bottom of the agenda then. I see that no one has added anything in the meantime, in which case we'll end the meeting there, but with customary, I'll leave a few seconds silence if anyone had any last minute questions, concerns, comments to throw in while we're here before we leave. Sounds like a resounding no. Thank you, everyone, for being here and for everything you do in the community. Hope you have a lovely rest of the day. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. See ya.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks.